If you're dealing with debt, you know how frustrating it can be, and so do we. We're Family Credit Management, and over the past 20 years, our experts have helped thousands of families conquer their debt. What we do is work with you and your creditors to find a customized solution to your finances. Isn't it time you took control of your financial future? As one of the nation's largest nonprofit credit counseling agencies, we're trusted experts who can really help. But you must take the first step.
Hey, good evening. We are back another week. My name is Letitia Griffin, and I am here to talk to you today about any types of problems or questions that you may be having relating to your finances, any type of debt issues, dealing with creditors, anything like that. If you've got budgeting questions, always feel free to reach out. We are here to assist you. You can contact me at 312-738-1060 to ask any questions that you may have regarding your finances or debt, or you can contact a counselor at 800-994-3328. The counselors are there to assist you, and they're ready, waiting, and able to answer any questions that you may have. So feel free to reach out. If you don't get a chance to, or you are not really sure about going on air, or you don't really like to talk to people, you can also use the chat function at familycredit.org. Now I want you to use that as a great resource to ask any questions, or if you come up with something during the week, there are counselors that are standing by, ready and able to assist you with whatever problems you may have. So the last few weeks we've been talking a lot about dealing with your debt and your finances and getting things back on track. And it's really up to you to take the first step with that. You just have to be able to discipline yourself. So today we'll cover a few different topics. We also have some educational tips that I want to share with you as we go throughout the show. Again, feel free to call in with any questions that you may have. Number one tip that I do want to recommend, or that I want you to pay attention to, is the power of looking at your credit bureau report. It's there for a reason, and it's something that you do need to look at, pay close attention to, and always kind of have an idea of what's going on with your personal finances by viewing your credit report and the information that's there. Had a consumer that was dealing with their credit report, and they found that, maybe 4 accounts that were listed on their report weren't theirs. They found that there were some errors in the way that things are being reported. And so it's always a good idea to take a look up front at what's going on with your finances and your debt. And the credit report is the perfect place to start. Another thing that we wanted to touch on as well is the importance of having financial stability and having a banking relationship and how that adds to it. And so we will talk about that as well. Again, if you've got some questions, you can contact a counselor at 800-994-3328. So like I said, we wanted to jump right into the importance of the credit report, which we talk about. And we know that the strength and the credit report comes in, and it stops us, or not necessarily stops us. It's there to guide us with whatever issues or whatever financing that we seek. Yes, it's there, and we want to make sure that the information there is accurate, because it unlocks the gateway to a lot of the things that we want in life. So if we know that we have a positive credit report, then yes, the outlook and the chances of us getting a loan will be improved. And so you want to make sure you pay close attention to that. Your credit score, it's a solid number, and it is a number that ranges from 350 to 850 typically, depending on what scoring model that you're using too. So also keep that in mind, and just do what you can to make sure you're paying attention to the report, you're monitoring it, and there are a few ways that you can monitor it as well. So you want to take look at that, pay close attention to it. Again, you can reach out to a counselor, 800-994-3328. So, one of the things that we also wanted to touch on is the importance of a banking institution, and we haven't really talked a lot about that, but I want to bring that up to you because as I look at consumers in their situation, I look at people that say that they want to make things better and that they are concerned that they don't have access to the best interest rates, or they don't have access to getting a decent deal or a decent loan with a reputable creditor or lender. And yes, the credit report is important, but also your banking history is important too. Now, we were just told over the past few weeks that with the banking relationship, it's going to be rolled into our credit score next year. So we want to get a jump on that, want to get a handle on it right now. Look at the banks that are around you. Look at financial institutions. Look at the credit unions. They're there for a reason, and maybe that's something that you would want to consider. Now, what's the importance? You may say, well, I know how to hold on to my money, or I don't trust banks. And those are some things that I hear all the time, but you actually have to think about it. When you're looking at your bank account or your banking institution, what caused that distrust? What caused you to not be with the bank, or to not even want to have that account? So we'll go into that in a second. Looks like we've got our first caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I have a question about my credit cards. I'm past due on my card payments, and I really can't afford to bring them current. Are there any options for me?
Okay, you said you're past due on your cards or your car?
My credit cards.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now when you're looking at your credit cards and you're not able to make your payment, the first thing you want to do first off is keep your budget in mind. How much can you comfortably afford? When you go out and you get those credit cards, we should always take into account the amount that you will have to pay each month. What's the minimum amount, and make sure that you can afford that. And our goal is to pay over it. So if you are struggling with your credit cards and you feel like you can't make the payments, then you may want to look at getting some help. You can get help by going to an outside agency for help, or you can go directly to the creditors themselves. Both options are there and available to you, and you can contact a counselor and actually get advice on how to deal with the creditors. That's the great thing about the counselors. They know what each creditor does. They can tell you what type of help you're going to receive, and they can point you in the right direction. So that's really what you want to look at and what you want to pay attention to. If you feel like you can't afford your payment, reach out to the creditors, reach out and find reputable help that will be there to assist you. So, first thing, you want to contact the creditors. Keep in mind that sometimes when you get someone on the phone, they may or may not be the right person for you to talk to. You don't know if they've had a crappy day. You don't know maybe if they don't know how to fix your situation, or they could even be new. So there's so many different variables why you can't find the answers that you're looking for the first time you call. I always want you to get the name of the person that you talk to. Take down the information that they give you, and then if they're not able to help you, do not be afraid to ask for a manager or a supervisor. That's where you're going to get the help that you need. After you do that, you can look at setting up payment arrangements with your creditors, and just trying to get things back on track. But also look at your budget. Like I said, make sure that payment falls within something that you can comfortably afford. So we were talking a little bit about, the banking institutions and the importance of the banking institutions too. And a lot of times what I see is that a lot of times when people can't afford their bills, it's because something's happened in their bank account, or they're not managing their account correctly. And that's why it's important. We've got access to technology. We've got access to a lot of things, but there's nothing like having that personal relationship, that personal one-on-one relationship with the banking representative. So it's always important at your bank, at your financial institution, your credit union, get to know the representatives that are there, because if there's something wrong or something happens on your account, these are the people that are going to be there to back you up, that can jump in for you, that can step in and start helping fix whatever problems you may have on the account. So that's one thing, one good reason why having a banking relationship works. Also, with certain drafts that may be put through, there may be more that your bank can do for you. You can avoid the fees and charges that a currency exchange may charge you, or that those fees that payday lenders charge, by going directly to the banks themselves and getting the help that you need. Now, here's the thing, a lot of people don't realize, if you've got a bank account, you can have more than one bank account with more than one bank. So you can even space out where your money is going. You can look at doing direct deposit, and you can kind of space out. You might put most of your check in this bank or this account and separate it out, and have another account set off to the side that's just for your savings. That is super important when you're trying to build up your finances. You want to have emergency savings account as well. And the best way to do that is by making sure that you put that money in the bank and you're not touching it. Another reason why a banking relationship is good, because we don't have direct access to the funds all the time. If you want money, 9 times out of 10, you've got to take an extra step in order to get it. It's not like you've got cash readily available right there. You either have to pull out that card and use that. You have to look at your account all the time. You have to, if you need cash, you have to actually go to an ATM or a bank and pull out that money. So there's little things that you can do, little steps that are put in there to make sure you kind of keep things on track and don't go too crazy. The number one reason why I see people struggle with their accounts though is that they really don't know anything about their bank account and what the bank has to offer and what account features are available with the accounts that they've chosen. It's always good to get to know your account and the banking rep. Now, when you get the account, they give you a thick booklet. They give you all these papers that has all this information about the fees, about cards, about your privacy, all this information at one time. So it may or may not be something that you remember all the time. But it is important for you to know how much your bank charges for everything. And each bank will give you a fee structure. Also, there's something called you can opt in or opt out of having that overdraft on your accounts as well. You can set up a bank account to say, okay, if I don't have any money in this account, don't pay anything that I try and put through, do not pay it. Or you can do the opposite and say, okay, I give you permission to cover everything that may come through my account with the understanding that I know I'm going to get charged a fee and I will have to pay that back too. So you always want to keep that in mind too. When you're dealing with your bank, it's always best to find the account that works for you, get to know the representative, and know the fee structure. Also, want to share with you just the helpful tips with your finances and getting to your financial relationship off the ground, especially if you are in a relationship. So I've got some tips that I want to share with you on that as well.
Hi, my name is Sarah Beth O'Neill, Director of Corporate Development at Family Credit Management. Thanks for joining us again for another economic makeover. Having trouble with your significant other when it comes to money? Finances are a big deal when it comes to surviving as a twosome. Having money problems is only fuel on the fire. So how can we fix this, or better yet, prevent it in the first place? In a perfect world, the two of you would have sat down before you set up house and talked about goals, spending habits, priorities, and dreams. Even set up a spending plan ahead of time. If there's trouble on the money front, then sitting down to talk about this immediately is priority 1. You have to be open and honest, willing to do some give and take, knowing that it's all for the best interest of your household. And if you have kids together, then do it for their well-being also. If there are bills each of you brought into the relationship, now is the time to come to an agreement on them. The most important thing that you can do in this situation is try to leave your emotions out. If you and your partner become upset, you'll likely become irrational, and then nothing can be accomplished at all. Discuss how you feel about things. Set priorities you agree on, knowing that you can't possibly agree on everything. Then put together a spending plan based on your income and expenses. You can download a copy of our spending plan at familycredit.org or order one at stopthinksave.org or call one of our counselors and we'll send you one for free. Going forward, decide who is going to handle the various areas of your finances, have weekly discussions on the progress you're making, and use a method of tracking your income and expenses. Many banks now have good online programs to track everything for you, and they're free. Be willing to make sacrifices, be encouraging to each other, and remember, our certified counselors are here to help you every step of the way. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you again next week.
So again, these are just some tips that we want to share with you about how to deal with your finances. And banking really is a huge important factor that you do need in order to succeed, especially with your finances, and to make sure that you are on the track to stay, you are on the path to staying on track with your finances. And banking is just another important aspect with that. And how you relate your banking to your finances actually is something that you do need to discuss with your partner, whether you decide to have an account together or separate accounts. That's something that you do need to discuss, and make sure that you understand the rules that go along with the account and all the finances, expenses, income, everything that may be going into that account as well. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you. I hope that you would find that interesting and keep those tips in mind. Also, we talked a little bit about your credit and the importance of credit. When you are looking for credit too, and you're looking to apply for credit, I do need for you to get your finances together. Probably take a look at your credit report about maybe 6 months before you go to apply for something. Look at your banking relationship. Make sure that you do not have any overdrafts, no NSF fees that are showing within the past couple of months either, because that's huge. You want to be able to show that you have a clear path and clear path for your finances. So it looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I was just wondering how long a dispute to the credit bureaus takes.
Okay, when you're looking to dispute items on your credit bureau report, it should happen rather fast. It used to be that it would take weeks and months even when you're trying to dispute something, but now the disputes are limited to about 45 days. And even though I said that, keep in mind, most of the bureaus, they respond back to you within 15 days. If you submit it online, they'll respond back to you sooner, and they will send you your disputes online through to your email. They will also give you an updated report which has the information corrected or improved on your report too, so you have that as well. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I was just considering to kind of cut my cable bill to save some expenses. Do you have any other suggestions for saving monthly?
I think that's a really good suggestion right there that even you can share with others. You looking to cut out your cable to save money is something that a lot of people haven't even thought about doing, but you should, because there's so many different ways for us to actually have access to those shows that we like to watch, or the news, whatever may be coming on, whatever kind of movies. How many of you stream? More people actually stream to their cell phone devices or tablets or even their TVs at home if you've got a smart TV. So looking at getting rid of your cable might be the best option for you. You can also look at contacting different cell phone companies and getting quotes as well to try and see how much you can save with that. Look at cutting out the extra lines that you may have, or see if you can look at some cell phone companies that may give you those lines for free. Also, couponing is not dead. Coupons still exist. So you can look at whatever you may be trying to purchase, and you can see if there's some coupons out there that will help you in your situation. I do recommend, if you use Amazon, if you're an Amazon user, you can also look at Amazon. Even when you're in the store, you can scan different items with your smartphone if you use that, and see what the price is on Amazon. You can check out some other stores using the same information and see where you get the best bang for your buck. The goal is to save money here. So if you can do those things by cutting out your monthly expenses, cutting off your cable, looking at downsizing your phone, looking at the way you spend your money, those are going to save money. Also, look at the time of the year that you make your purchases too, because there are different times of year where it's best to buy different things. So you do want to look at that as well. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Oh, hello. I just received a summons to appear in court for a credit card that was from many years ago. I thought after a period of time that debts would actually come off of your credit report. Is that not true?
Okay. Well, actually, there is a statute of limitations for each unpaid debt. And typically in Illinois, it runs usually after 7 years. A lot of creditors don't try to collect on a debt, but that does not mean you do not owe it. Also, if you feel like you stopped making payments and they are just coming after you blindly, you do have the right to verify that information. Ask them to verify that debt for you. But if you get a summons to go to court, it is very, very imperative that you go. Even if you feel like you can work out arrangements with them, or you can contact them and set up payment arrangements, still go to court, because that has been put through the court system. So it's going to continue unless it's stopped. A lot of times if you do that, there may or may not be times for that creditor to even make those amendments to the court system, depending on what your court date is. So I do advise you to go to court, make sure you have your voice heard. And I've seen sometimes where people will go to court and tell the judge the situation, bring them letters, bring them documentation to show like why they're in the situation that they're in. And sometimes the judge sees your side. They may set up low payment arrangements, or sometimes even cut the debt out. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Yes, and hello. And I'm really glad to see you still hanging around. You know, you always get some wonderful advice, always. Listen, I'm going to piggy on one thing, and you know what tip I'm going to ask about. You gave some good information about the debit cards. And I know a woman, Jesus, she lived at a teller. I mean, not at the teller, but these checking things. You run into the store, you go in the gas station, always pulling money out. People don't realize you look in a year's time how much money you paid to just get your own money.
Right.
Go to the bank, get your little thing, keep it to the side, you got your money. Now, you can answer to that, but you know what's the other part when I'm ready to ask you. Is there any good tips lately came down the pipe for investments? I could see that smile on your face already. You should have known I was going to ask you that. I don't know if you're allowed to get that information, but sign language, anything, just show us what we could maybe invest in. Let me get out there so I can hear your response. And again, I'm glad that you're still around.
Thank you. I always appreciate you calling in, and you make a valid point that so many people waste money even getting access to their own money. So if there's anything that you can do to avoid that, do it. Look at the different types of accounts. Like I said, you can have more than one account at more than one bank. So look at the bank that and see what the fees are, and make sure that you know what they are, and see if you can go to a bank that charges a fee that's not as much. So that's something that you can also look at doing. Just shop around, because there are some banks that don't charge fees for everything too. There are some banks that don't even charge fees to use the ATM. So you want to look at that. And as far as tips go, I can't really share any tips with you on the air, but you can contact the counselor at Family Credit and look to get some information on that. Also, just so you know, we will devote one of these shows towards just investing, and so that'll be upcoming. So please feel free to tune back in when you get some time. Next week you can tune back in. Now, we know Halloween is upon us, so I wanted to end the show with this video for you guys to watch. Just some tips on dealing with the holiday season. Okay.
I'm Elizabeth Schomburg, Senior Vice President of Family Credit Management. Welcome to this week's Economic Makeover. Halloween is coming up, and you know what scares me? How much it now costs. According to the Baltimore Sun, Americans spend almost $7 billion on Halloween every year. Now that's a lot of money. So how can we save a little during this holiday? First, this may sound a little old-fashioned, but try making your own costume. If you're crafty, it can be quite easy. If not, look through your closet. Maybe you can put your son in a baseball jersey, put a glove in his hand, give him a ball, and there you go, instant costume. If you don't like that, check out secondhand shops and find one. Or, if you have multiple children, shop to hand down to the next child. Just make sure that the costume is unisex and get another season or two out of it. You can also look for one that is not size specific, like a cat or a witch, that can be used every other year or so. Decorations are another major cost. Why pay full price when the day after the holiday they're just going to go to 50 to 90% off? Just hold off and show off your new decorations next year. You can also do the same things with costumes. Now onto candy. Don't feel pressure to buy the most expensive candy. Use coupons and watch for sales. This may seem elementary, but how often do we give in to the impulse and pay full price? Plan, plan, plan. On a more personal note, don't buy candy that you like. I've learned this lesson the hard way, and you may need to buy more candy later, and you also still have to work off out the extra calories. And while we're thinking along the lines of health, consider candy alternatives, like mini bulk cans of Play-Doh, or plan ahead and during the back-to-school sales, stock up on pencils, pencil stoppers, stickers, crayons, etc. These can be cheaper than candy, more healthy, and even more fun. I know Halloween does not break the bank for most families, but remember, it all adds up quickly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.